As part of my Liverpool vlog series, I wanted to do one video which highlights a few of our favorite little spots in the area. Places that have beautiful architecture with interesting historic and cultural ties. In this video, I'll show you a quick recap of these spots, starting with the famous Bold Street, then the fascinating bombed out church, a stop by the classic and impressive St. George's Quarter, the famous Albert Dock and Waterfront area, and finally, a truly unique place in the Wirral called Port Sunlight. Any tourist coming to Liverpool is likely to discover Bold Street. We have just arrived in Liverpool, and I can already tell it's a very colorful place. And while it is a bustling, busy road, I still love it. It has colorful, yet not very real, wisteria draped across the cobbled street, which is lined on both sides by a fabulous array of shops and restaurants of all sorts, including Maggie May's, where I tasted scouse in my video from a few weeks ago, and the Pie Minister, which I will feature in next week's video. The nice thing about fake wisteria is that it is always in bloom. And I adore the fact that you can see this lovely tall church tower at the end of the street, nicely framed between the buildings and above the wisteria. The tower at the end of Bold Street actually belongs to St. Luke's Church, which, when I first saw the front of it, just looked like a normal old church to me. But it is actually a ruin, a lovely shell with a destroyed interior. It's known locally as the bombed-out church. St. Luke's Parish Church was built between 1811 and 1832 by the father and son architecture team of John Foster, Sr. and Jr. But a century later, just past midnight on May 6th of 1941, during the May Blitz of World War II, the church was bombed. The fire caused by the incendiary device swept through the inside of the church, causing catastrophic damage. Though the stained glass windows exploded and the roof collapsed, the stone outer structure remained standing and still stands today as a testament to the resilience of the people in this community and the strength of their community spirit. The people in Liverpool decided to keep the ruin as a monument and memorial to the casualties from the World Wars. It has been a Grade 2 listed building since 1952, and in 2014, the statue All Together Now was added to the site, in memory of the British and German soldiers involved in the Christmas truce of World War I. If you aren't familiar with that historic event, check out my video, which I will link in the description. It reacts to the Sainsbury's TV commercial created to tell the story of that day. The church is now used as an open-air venue for community art events, concerts, and other cultural activities. Liverpool is known for some amazing architecture. For example, the Three Graces, which we'll visit in a minute down by the waterfront, but also the beautiful buildings in St. George's Square. First, let's look at St. George's Hall. St. George's Hall, home of these lovely lions.
This is St. George's Hall. It is a concert venue. It's courts, and it also has extensive basements inside it for prisoners. And it was completed in 1854 by an architect named Harvey Elms. And he was only 25 years old when he won the commission in a competition against a whole bunch of other entrants. And unfortunately, he died before it was completed, but based on the photos I've seen, it's absolutely magnificent on the inside. It's a great example of neoclassical architecture, includes Greco and Roman elements.
Liverpool celebrated the laying of the foundation stone on Queen Victoria's Coronation Day, and when the Queen visited the building in 1851, she said St. George's Hall was worthy of ancient Athens. In this direction, we see the stunning World Museum, the lovely Central Library, and the fabulous Walker Art Gallery, which I shared a peek inside last week in my vlog of the Phenomenal Tudors exhibit. I'll put a link to that video in the description. Then, over here, we have the impressive County Sessions House and the Stable Fountain, and the Wellington Column. If you come to Liverpool, you absolutely must come to St. George's Quarter, ideally to allocate a whole day to exploring what's inside these historic buildings. Liverpool's waterfront is a popular tourist destination with loads of cool things to see. First, let's talk about Albert Dock. This historic dock is where you'll find the Beatles Story Museum, which I shared in my Beatles tour video a few weeks ago, as well as the Tate Liverpool Art Gallery and the Merseyside Maritime Museum. And of course, you'll also find Albert's Ice Cream Emporium, because tourists need frosty treats to eat on a hot summer day. Also along the waterfront is the stunning Museum of Liverpool. I love the modern design of this building, which I saw and filmed from different angles on the shore, from the sky, and on the ferry. The pierhead is the area of the waterfront where you'll see the most iconic buildings in Liverpool, the Three Graces. First, we have the Royal Liver Building, which was completed in 1911 and is the most well-known of the Three Graces. It was designed by Walter Aubrey Thomas and Arnold Thornley in a distinctive Edwardian Baroque style. The building was originally the headquarters of the Royal Liver Assurance Group. I have to share this awesome bit of audio where my Scouser friend Jojo was first explaining the Liver Building, the birds, and patiently giving me a pronunciation lesson.
Right there we have the Royal Liver Building.
Creature is called a what?
It's called a liver bird, which resembles similar to a phoenix. If you are a big fan of football and watch Liverpool FC, which is the best team in the world,
Of course
you
it
will
is.
see that on their badge. They have that liver bird that represents them.
Yeah, the light on.
Okay, so it's a liver bird, not a liver bird.
Nope, liver.
That's a little crazy. You say it differently. Just saying. Next up, we have the Cunard Building. Completed in 1917, this building was designed by architect William Edward Willink and Philip Coldwell Thickness. It served as the headquarters of the Cunard Line, a British shipping company that operated passenger liners between Liverpool and North America. And third, the Port of Liverpool Building. Completed in 1932, this lovely Art Deco building was also designed by Arnold Thornley. It was the headquarters of the Mersey Docks and Harbour Board, which managed the Port of Liverpool. I have to film this waffle and donut van just to take the mick out of Jean Longston, who insists that only Americans spell donuts this way. I see these double-decker buses in London offering afternoon tea service, and that just does not sound appealing to me. I don't want to try to be drinking tea and eating little finger sandwiches and slathering my scone with cream whilst bouncing all over the road. Do you love how the seagulls are just waiting for someone to buy something from this diner so they can pinch it? This statue commemorates all the people who left Liverpool, began a life somewhere else for economic opportunities, religious opportunities, joining their family. It's estimated that between 1830 and 1930, 9 million people emigrated through the Port of Liverpool to the US, Canada, and Australia. One last spot on the waterfront that I'll mention is this statue of Billy Fury, who, yes, looked like Elvis to me. Silly American. Billy was a major British rock and roll star from Liverpool who lived from 1940 to 1983. If you are enjoying this Liverpool series, I hope you join the Magenta Otter tribe for more fun in Britain. And stay tuned for next week when I'll share our 10 reasons to love Liverpool. Now for our final stop on the Favorite Places tour. This was an area we were not expecting to explore, but our friend and tour guide Aidan took us there. Aidan has a YouTube channel called Aidan Eyewitness, and he is a fellow architecture fan that Ian befriended. Aidan drove us to the Wirral for a surprising discovery, which I'll show you in a second. We took the Queensway Tunnel under the Mersey to get to the Wirral. Watch next week's video to see us cross the Mersey above, on a ferry across the Mersey. The Wirral got its name from a tree. Originally, the peninsula was overgrown with bog myrtle trees, and the name Wirral means Myrtle Corner. The Wirral is home to Port Sunlight, a unique village built by the Lever brothers to provide housing for the workers in their soap factory. The homes were built in the late 1800s, just a few years after the brothers, William and James Lever from Bolton, created the Lever Brothers Manufacturing Company. The name of Port Sunlight derives from the Lever Brothers' popular brand of soap at the time, which was named Sunlight. Port Sunlight now has 900 Grade 2 listed buildings in it and a population of around 1,500. It was declared a conservation area in 1978. It is a very well cared for community that is often called a model village. Now for the connection to me. Back around 1990, I worked for Unilever, which was the Lever Brothers conglomerate at the time, which also included the Lipton tea business, among several other major consumer goods businesses and dozens of huge brands. This part of my career history made it even more fun for me to visit Port Sunlight. Honestly, another fun part of visiting the Wirral is the opportunity to look back across the Mersey for some fabulous views of the Liverpool waterfront. And if you have a nice drone pilot like Ian to capture some drone footage of the view, even better. Coming out of the Queensway Tunnel, we get a lovely golden hour view of the Liver Building once again. A perfect way to wrap up our visit to the Wirral Peninsula. I hope you enjoyed this vlog of Liverpool. I recommend you check out one of these videos next. Thanks so much for watching, and do something good in the world today.